Well, the key thing you said there was the human factors. I think you and I talked about this. I think traditionally, and I've watched people tackle this energy problem, for many decades now, there are some people who think, okay, it's all policy. Government needs to do this and we're all the problems solved. And other people say, no, it's all technology. We're just going to create the best technology. And other people say, you know what, it's business. You've got to get it into businesses. And what those three parties, the business people, the technologists, and the policy people miss is the contribution from the sociologists, the anthropologists, the psychologists, the behavioral psychologists, because they understand how people think and how people adapt and how people understand things. And if we don't do that, we will not successfully be able to get our society, which is addicted to cheap, dirty energy, onto clean. And now it's less expensive energy, right? But it's different energy. It's in a different format. The key about startups that develop technology, the traditional way a startup works is somebody makes an invention. Hey, I got this gadget and it does this thing really cool. And then they go and they show it to lots of people to see who wants to buy it. And there is a new paradigm of startups that is based upon customer discovery. What you do is you may have an idea for a technology and a product that is amazing, but then you put it aside and you go and visit people who might have the problem your product could solve. And you ask them about their problem. You don't tell them about your solution. You understand their pain. What is the biggest problem they have? How do they try to solve that problem? What have they tried before? How expensive is the solution that they're trying now? What do they like about it? What don't they like about it? Have they ever bought anything from a startup? That's a very important question to ask a customer, because if they say, I've never bought anything from a startup, I would not go back there to sell. But you talk to these customers and you begin to understand the way they think. And then you begin to divide them up into buckets. These are the forward-thinking ones. These are the less forward-thinking ones. So when I start my business, when I start going out there, I'm going to go to the forward-thinking ones first. And once you really profile the customer, and you got to talk to a lot of customers to really understand them, you then go back and look at your product and say, okay, how should I modify this to really nail the problem that people say they have? You modify your product, and then you go back to those people and say, remember you said you had this problem? And I said, if you could solve it, it would be worth this much. Well, what do you think about this as a solution? But now you understand the way they think. You understand the way they talk. And now you are in a much better situation to try to influence them. So many products, just like you described, Scott, amazing technology. They go out and no one buys it. By the way, more frustrating, people say, oh, I love this. This is really great. And they still don't buy it.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Well, what would you put? So what's wrong with our value proposition? What are we not offering with this? No, I think it's great. I just have no interest in buying it.
Exactly.
But how is this going to get out into the world? I don't know. Somebody else will buy it.
Right. Well, the problem is when you ask somebody, a lot of entrepreneurs ask their family and friends, hey, what do you think about my idea? Well, no one wants to insult you.
Well, I don't know. It depends on the family.
That's also
But even when you talk to a stranger, generally speaking, strangers, if you show them something, they're probably not inclined to tell you, get lost. By the way, if you come to someone and say, and it's clear that you are selling something, nobody wants to be sold to. So it's like, shields up, phasers on kill. I do not want to give you time to talk to you if you're here to make a sales call.
Right.
You go to them and say, I want to understand how small companies manage their energy bills. What is your biggest problem doing that? What have you tried? What do you think solar energy costs? I mean, again, I know what it costs, but I want to know what he thinks it costs, because that may tell me something about how to sell to him.
That's likely the barrier. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all in the head. So I say they should always ask somebody, what do they think the cost of electricity is going to be in 5 years? And I said, the odds are it's going to be wrong, because nobody knows. But if you know what they think it is, now you know what you have to sell them.